is left up. If you're TL, I think you just try to run back basically the same draft, but TSM could be saying the same thing.
There it is.
Tahm Kench ban makes a lot of sense. That has been enabling Doublelift so much in these last two games where he has been a monster.
It leaves up the Kindred ban they had used before, commonly known as a counter pick to Rek'Sai. It makes it a bit of a harder blind pick.
And with Zilean available, you know, if something like Lissandra is picked here, you can go Kindred Zilean as an answer to that and have that as your kind of first two picks.
Will more importance be put on this Varus? Both teams succeeding with that as their bottom lane carry. Galio returning as the first pick, though. Does have the global, does have the AoE taunt for the double knock.
And I like this more from TSM. I don't think they have to first pick the Lissandra. Jensen, you know, is not traditionally much of a Lissandra player. He doesn't really prefer that champion as much. So I still think TSM may have an opportunity to grab it in their next couple picks. And even if TL does go for it, that is Jensen blind picking Lissandra into Bjergsen and giving him the option to kind of deal with that.
Well, all of Liquid's wins have been on the backs of Varus and Tahm Kench. One of those has been denied. The Varus still up, but you think it's probably in consideration to be grabbed right here. Skarner actually hovered early on. With every other jungler available, they want the Impale.
A lot of their picks have come off the back of Xmithie finding the Impale, but also good at clearing, good with the objective control. If you get the spires around the neutral objective you're going for, that has given them quite a lot of security.
And I think additionally, Bjergsen and Broken Blade have both been putting a huge priority on champions who rely on mobility for their success. When you're looking at Aurelia, when you're looking at Akali, LeBlanc, all these sorts of champions, Xmithie can just say no, and he hits you with the ultimate and forcing at the very least QSS tax.
Okay, well, Zoe was victorious for Bjergsen earlier, and the Heimerdinger didn't look too good. Jensen, do you grab your pick right now and find your counteraction? Do you take the Varus to make sure you've got that?
I think they could just go Zilean again. You know, it'll be interesting to see if he wants to go for lane, but I think Zilean makes a lot of sense. You know, we'll pick that again now. Yes, the Varus could get banned out, but there's a lot of kind of late game carries that you could go for. Instead, it will be lane focused. Jensen putting that pressure on himself. Game 5, it is him versus Bjergsen. He has the counter pick and wants to blast this lane.
The main part of this counter pick is all about gank setup and LeBlanc being able to choose the initiation onto Zoe, but they don't have a high damage jungler that's going to come through. They're still gonna need a lot of coordination here to pull this off.
Jarvan removed, Sivir now removed as well, so we wait to see what exactly Devil's gonna play. Knows he's against Ezreal plus Galio, knows Braum is on his team.
I mean,
Another
Lucian
jungler ban?
is available if they want to play 4 lane. Lucian Braum is certainly someone that can threaten not only the Ezreal, but the Galio in particular. If Galio ever does step up, you do have the opportunity to take him down, but Lucian certainly is not as strong as some of these other carries when you do get to that super late game, when you have a lot of items and these crit marksmen are scaling up. So we'll see if Doublelift elects to just go back to the Varus, if TSM are going to leave it up once more.
Don't see a reason not to. Has had a lot of success thus far.
The only real kind of question there is, do you feel safe enough playing Varus without the Tahm Kench, right? Because maybe he wants to make a move back to a champion that has more mobility, like the Lucian. He was not successful in those first 2 games when he didn't have that safety.
TSM not showing any dive right now, save for the Galio. The bubble is gonna have to be what he has to worry about. Dodging that is important.
He's smiling.
Give it to me.
Game 5 LCS finals. And he goes with the Kaisa.
Okay.
Still a strong champ.
And I think makes a lot of sense. There's already a ton of CC on his team. Braum is going to proc the passive stacks there. Skarner is certainly going to do that. Even LeBlanc chains can. That is going to add a lot of extra damage and also be able to assist in kind of diving back. You know, if you hit a Skarner ultimate onto this Ezreal, all of a sudden Kaisa can fly in and help to finish off that pick.
Will TSM stay true to what they found success with? Broken Blade on an independent champion for the top side.
And big questions about what Impact will do. GP and Kennen are both gone, right? Now he has to answer this Akali. Will he go to yet another carry with a lot of these top lane carries already banned out? Jace is gone, the GP is gone, Kennen is gone. will he go back to a tank? I'm very curious to see where the direction will be.
Well, TSM clearly going with full comfort here for all of their players.
Oh, impact. The Shen for him would be huge. I do think Yorick can actually answer a Kali quite well, but you do have to be careful about potential all-ins, and Vladimir will be the option. The team fight for TL will be brutal later on in the game, but they're gonna have to get there first, as you certainly think a lot of these lanes, there is abilities for Rek'Sai to impact them and have a big early game.
Yeah, I mean, Broken Blade had such big games for TSM on the Vladimir. Now Impact gonna try and turn the tables and run it back on them. Definitely has a lot of backline access. And Team Liquid's team play, their coordination with teleports, has what's brought them here, brought us here to game number 5.
And it's gonna be the last words from the coaches. The last guidance they get. It's now down to the 10 players on stage, their instincts, their preparation, their training, and how well they can do now when the pressure is on. The trophy on the line, the title in St. Louis stands before them. Championship number 6 for Bjergsen and Doublelift. Core JJ, the spring split MVP. He's on Braum now. Impact push to a Vladimir that carries so hard from his opposite member. Broken Blade, his first time in North America, on another carry, this time the Akali. Lost last game, it can do it here. And Smoothie, he lost in game 5 not long ago. Cracked under the pressure. Now is the time to show up and prove that you are the best team in North America. The spring split finals come down to this. Let me hear you for Team Liquid and TSM.
One final game for the LCS Championship.
Can't ask for more than this from these two teams who have played their hearts out already. Both teams showing really strong performances, and the tide has shifted in this last games towards TL, but can TSM recoup? Can they bounce back and kind of reset their mental after 2 rough games?
Both teams settling on what works for them so far. Team Liquid back to the Skarner. TSM back with the Rek'Sai, Ezreal, Zoe.
Just the fact that Smoothie was spamming taunt actually gives me some faith in his mental, that he's not so tunnel vision on the game that he still feels a bit loose in the sort of state you need to be in to play at your best. Pressure, of course, is going to be a word tossed around a lot when talking about this series. Team Liquid poised to win 3 straight, not just games, but LCS titles. TSM, so few teams actually stave off the reverse sweep. They got to do it here.
If they can do it, if TSM can win this championship this year, they will have more championships than all other LCS teams combined.
And they will have answered all questions. The bracket that they had to go through, they had to beat C9 in a grueling 5-game series. Now going the distance here against TL. Certainly all questions will have been answered.
The mid lane is cleared away. Perfect CS for Jensen. It's always a good sign when you're back there.
Oh, first big play, sleep and chain proc at the same time.
And that was Ignite from Jensen. He was going very aggressive there, so that sleep from Bjergsen shut down a lot of it, and it's just +1 summoner now for Bjergsen. Fairly even trade, and the heal is still available.
It is a good time to use it against Zoe. Without being level 3, she can't steal it back and trade the damage, so a little bit of chip done before she can hit you back with it.
And again, LeBlanc always looks for the gank setup in this matchup with Zoe. Can go distortion with the chains, allowing Skarner to close that distance. Not usually a champion that can have an early impact. Cadian knows this on the Rek'Sai, circling around, using the passive to try and find it. Smithy opens up on the Raptors, and the junglers see each other for the first time this game.
A battle for a couple of camps and a little bit of gold. It is Smithy who takes and retains control of his side of the jungle. 13-16 in overall jungle CS.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Doublelift has gone with the cleanse on Kai'Sa this time around. He does not have Core JJ on the Tahm Kench for a Devour. Using an extra summoner here for later on in the game.
So it will mean TP advantage for TSM, right? They have that marksman with the teleport who can potentially answer side lane plays. Doublelift not going to have that luxury as Con Flash from Galio way too threatening. And even that sleep from Zoe can mean certain death if you don't have a cleanse available or someone to block it.
At least I'm going to track it later on. If the map plays don't matter and it comes down to team fights, one extra combat summoner. But as you mentioned, if it is map plays, then TP can mean a lot more. We'll wait to see that one play out. Close game, of course, in the early laning phase. Impact push to Vladimir here. Got his pick against Broken Blade. So far farming off a very small deficit to the Vladimir, but nothing to write home about just yet. Mid lane advantage to Jensen. That counter pick working out quite well.
Aggressive trade here from Broken Blade does find the extra damage early on. Impact just trying to CS and heal back up off the minions.
Smithy took the first recall out of the jungle. Of course, with Predator, you want boots ASAP, and now that's been matched by Acadian, but the Gromp will die, and they will stay pretty close in farm.
And Skarner's actually pretty good at power clearing now that they've increased the range of the Spires. Can even do the Krugs, no effort required. Now that everything has been cleared, back out onto the map, trying to get the deeper vision. He gets a ward over the back of the wall, but top side, Broken Blade finding another trade.
Also really worth taking into account that it is an Ocean first dragon, right? So that is something that's very, very big, I think, on the minds of both these two teams. If you can take that, that is eliminating a lot of the threat of this poke and kind of wear down from either side.
Skarner is definitely a champion capable of soloing the dragon. First Predator is activated for Smithy. Looking towards the bottom side, but Smoothie and Sven back off as the minion wave moves up. Good communication and caution here in game number 5. No mistakes will be allowed here.
We heard the analyst has talked about the fact that game 5 would probably be slower. High brought it up as the pressure mounts, and you know one mistake might cost you the entire season.
It's so much on the line, but at the same time, in those situations, sometimes it is the person who has the confidence to go aggressive, the confidence to make that play that can decide the game, right? If you sit back too much, if you always give the opportunity to be that playmaker to your opponent, then certainly they can make good on it. And there are so many players here in
like
this series that are going to be able to look for those sorts of plays, the guys who have the confidence to do it.
Broken Blade's certainly one of them. Constantly looking for those opportunities. Acadian himself going for the invades.
Drops the ward, has the scuttle, out he goes. First recall comes in, kill no gem plus the dark seal and a potion. Sustain and CDR, the required stats for a Vladimir.
And you want to see Acadian still, keeping that faith in himself. Yes, they did have a rough couple last 2 games, but he has had the success he has had by playing aggressive, by being in the face of his opponents. And it is going to be TSM actually starting this up. They do have TP advantage. They're going to use Ezreal's TP to come over here.
Mid laner's got to robe over as well. Zoe has the inside track, so Bjergsen gets there first.
Pushes out Jensen with the bubble. This is Ocean Drake, super early on, picked up, goes to TSM. That is very large.
Taking the first play for themselves. Talk about sitting back, Azael. TSM are out of their seats.
Yeah, TSM willing to make that aggressive move, and I think that's huge, and really, you have to credit Broken Blade. Doublelift decides to make the recall because Sven is TP'd back. He just has a strong buy. If you try to commit to that fight fully, Broken Blade could be TPing in behind you and you could get wiped. So they had to give that respect over to him.
Exactly. In the last game, teleports on display throughout. This time around, TSM making use of their advantage early on.
Really being the far better player, and Ocean Drake is just absurd for laning phase here. Infinite mana on Sven, he can keep going for that Q poke. And now this looks a bit dangerous for Impact. Burns the Hemo Plague empowered Q is good healing. And Broken Blade, of course, able to walk this one away, but that is ult down.
Yeah, he did also have his magic damage shield proc there from the runes, so that is another little cost to that trade. And Broken Blade does still have his ult available.
Smithy.
Predator pop, ult triggered right there. Now Impact's gotta be careful around this one. As Broken Blade's invisible. Round 2, goes for the stun, gets first blood 1v1, and now must run away from McSmithy. Acadian nearby to keep him alive, and that is massive in game 5.
Broken Blade from the TCL, first split in the LCS Finals, game 5, finds a first blood solo kill.
That was massive from Broken Blade, and Impact unable to flash it, unable to react to that second activation of the ultimate. He had Smithy closer on the play. They were hoping to bait him in, hoping to turn that around, but it's Broken Blade getting the solo kill and getting out.
Ooh, almost round 2 there in the mid lane, but Jensen able to distort away, no flashes committed.
And honestly, for Jensen, this lane is going to start feeling a little bit doomed now that he has the Ocean Dragon on the side of Bjergsen. It's so much harder to actually pressure your opponent. Zoe can dump resources back off and continually regen up.
And by ganking mid lane, you open up Zoe now. They push the wave. They go for the blue invade. The pressure can cascade down the map here for TSM. They're pushing the bottom lane in. They steal the blue buff. And the early game is theirs.
Yeah, the early game is all TSM's. They're certainly looking dominant in this game 5. A huge bounce back after what was a slaughter in the early game of game 4.
This whole series has gone back and forth, Azale, even the first 2 games. All right, let's take another look at the top side. Broken Blade deciding whether he needed to escape or go for the kill. He opts for the kill. Finds Acadian there for some support to get him out, and even escapes afterwards.
And this starts to look like game 1, where Broken Blade completely popped off in the Vladimir and was the difference in that game. Akali can do the same.
One critical difference, though, this is not the Kennen who has to slam lane. This is a Vladimir who can sustain, who can hang on. And as long as he's able to do that, it's more similar to the GP, where you can all of a sudden show up 40 minutes into the game and be like, well, hello, I'm 0-5, but I'm still going to kill everyone.
Yep, the last 2 games certainly have been Team Liquid, and Team Liquid through team play.
Nice try. He pulled it far enough back. There was a chance he steals the Gromp. Doesn't get it here. Sweeps the ward. We go back to look at this bottom lane. Pretty equal in farm, but it's actually Sven slightly ahead. Helps grab the Ocean Drake as well. So a really solid 2-on-2 down here for the TSM side of things. They are winning kind of everywhere. More than 10 CS up in both solos and pressure in the bottom lane. TSM putting out their best early game of the series in this climactic game 5.
Smithy on the Skarner here. Does have flash and ultimate available. Predator not going to come back up from the attempt on top side, but he's looking to try and make use of this big level 6 spike. Wasn't able to make anything happen to save Impact, and hasn't been able to combine with Jensen either. The LeBlanc into Zoe matchup is about your extra mobility, about the chain for setting up for kills. But Team Liquid have not found them.
Yeah, they've really just farmed even in that mid lane, so certainly Bjergsen equal to the task thus far. It is Broken Blade back up to that top side. That is an 11-minute Gunblade, which is going to feel so difficult to pressure this guy now, and they're onto the Rift Herald. They have solo lane advantage. Even Smoothie roaming up to threaten an ultimate.
Exactly. The Akali right now cannot be contested. Topside control opens up the Rift Herald here. Bjergsen push in the mid lane. He even helps finish off the objective here. With the help of Ocean Drake, he can spend as much mana as he wants, finishing up the Rift Herald damage and still get back the lane.
Barely drops any CS here as Jensen and LeBlanc has yet to make himself otherwise known. You can see more in the mid game, but that is Acadian with this Rift Herald picked up, and with 2 minutes to drop down plates, could give even more gold to Broken Blade. Already 2 turret plates in. Chunks Impact to half.
Team Liquid have fought tooth and nail to get to this game. Now they're doing with the Rift Herald spawn on top side.
Roam, though.
They're looking for this play, flashing over the wall, suppressing. There's the burst. They do knock down Acadian as that turret plates fall.
And it is Jensen who roams up on the LeBlanc. They can finish off this Rift Herald, but Broken Blade was around for all of this cash.
Yeah, TSM should have known that Jensen was coming up, though. He was missing from the lane. They had time to perhaps react to it, but maybe thought they could kill the turret off first and then perhaps look for an escape or an outplay. It is the kill, though, going their way.
And now Broken Blade must make an escape. Does have flash, does have second charge of ultimate.
And with,
they're not going to go.
Yeah, with that extra threat, he's actually going to 2v1.
Puts in the damage, forces a TP
Oh my
out.
God.
Core JJ, I believe, yet with the spell book, shows up. As Kaisa is alone in the bottom lane, Core has to walk all the way around now.
This pressure that Broken Blade is putting on is insane. He pushes back 2, he forces out a teleport from a third, Now Core JJ will have to make the long run down to bot lane, and Broken Blade should just be able to take this turret easy peasy. It's so low. Let's see if he can do it.
Damage on impact first, still staying at half HP with the empowered Q. Looks okay, but yes, this turret is getting very, very low.
Meanwhile, Team Liquid need to turn their sights towards Jensen. Currently, TSM actually finishing up this objective. Jensen pushed in the mid lane. Bottom lane had recalled. That dragon is all TSM. Jensen, though, is their hope. The LeBlanc got the kill on the roam top side, is a burst damage assassin. Can he put a stop to this TSM onslaught? They are overwhelming the early game.
They really are, but TL do still have incredible 5v5. When you're looking at the Skarner versus the Rek'Sai, when you're looking at Vladimir against the Kali, even the Kai'Sa against the Ezreal, you're favoring a lot of these matchups for TL in the later stages of the game, but they need to kind of stop the bleeding here.
Broken Blade.
Decent damage out from impact, but yeah, not really in enough danger here. A few more autos. It should die before plates fall, and that'll be a significant chunk. 6-10 over to the Akali.
I mean, Impact just can't pressure him, right? You know, he's outpaced him too much. Your damage is too far behind Broken Blade's healing on this Akali with the super early Gunblade, as well as the Ocean Dragon. His regen is just insane.
Aside from the Gangplank game, Broken Blade has dominated that matchup. Bottom side, though, Team Liquid fighting back. They're able to get the Demolish proc and double lift using the extra attack speed off the E to take this turret down to 50%.
Does get decent damage out of it. Does have the Q evolved, so the wave clear is pretty solid. Even Skarner sitting around to make sure he stays safe. This does feel like a game that might just come down to the Kai'Sa. You look at the gold as well, and this LeBlanc doing well was, last I checked, the only player with a gold lead on the team.
And double lift, because you mentioned the Kai'Sa is going for the early double evolve build with the Storm Razor start, trying to get both the Q evolve and the attack speed invisibility evolve. I think that is important when you're facing against an Akali that got this much early.
And those turret plates there tell the story of the early game. 8-0 for TSM. That is most of their advantage right there. Lane dominance paying off in this new world with turret plates. You can be so heavily rewarded for those strong plays.
Complete 180 from game 4. TSM now with the smashing of an early game, and with the lead, Broken Blade picks up Quicksilver Sash. He's not easily assassinated anymore. Can't be pulled back by that Skarner. If he needs to, he can always cleanse one of the other stuns on the team.
And look at the double early QSS. Acadian as well, actually. So they're putting so much more priority on this, recognizing how much of a threat Smithy has been in these last couple of games.
That's what 3 games against the Skarner will do to you. Make you very willing to cough up the early money for QSSs. We even have some more no magic mantles. I see 2 more in inventory with Ezreal and Braum both sitting on them. Those could possibly also be turned into early QSSs to try and deny those plays that Team Liquid have used in the past 2 games to get us here.
Still, you do have to remember that there is a cost to that QSS. It is certainly not damage that you are building up at this point in the game. It will slow down your progression a little bit, and it's TL on the side here, hoping that Acadian will face check into them. If they're patient enough, they may actually get this.
Yeah, you feel confident as Rek'Sai with your passive.
Oh. Spotted by the Spire, taken. TL running away now. And cleansing that bubble. It's why he brought Summoner Spell. Of course, Core can block with the shield, but now Broken Blade shows up in the mid lane, finds a slow, not the dive out of Jensen, though.
And that was just really good game sense, honestly, from TSM. Bjergsen sniffing it out, Acadian waiting to actually check. They don't see anyone on the map, and that's just smart play.
And you have to continue with that caution in a game 5 like this, not taking those chances, not relaxing for a second.
Oh, they've got the root on Bjergsen, though, but Sven pushing him right back out means there's no root. No kill to be had. Predator, I believe, was popped, but not finding his way in is Smithy. As mid lane is cleared back and forth, it's Bjergsen with the gold lead overall, and individually they are tied in income. Even the solo turret given the double does not make him match up with what Sven has right now. TSM still winning pretty much everywhere. This difference, 2,500, meaningful but not insurmountable.
Exactly, and that's really what it is about. It's about, can you continue to extend it if you're on the side of TSM, and can you hold it here if you are the side of TL? Because if this gold lead does not expand, if you hold that even, if you keep farming up, you're going to feel confident about your chances later on.
And the strength of Team Liquid comes when they group together. The Vladimir now level 11. Smithy Skarner looking for the pull, playing tank frontline, trying to start the initiation for this team. Will they be able to make it a third?
There's a chunk, but he's so far out of range, doesn't have to burn the E as well. Drake coming up in 10 seconds.
You've also got to wonder, can Doublelift stay safe in these team fights, right? He does not have the Tahm Kench to protect him. And now there is a super fed Akali, a super fed Rek'Sai, or, these guys who are so strong, have so much farm, and can just dive back onto you.
They just got a very big 2-item power spike there. Ezreal Trinity Force and Muramana transformation for Sven as well. The damage will come through.
Blade on the flank. TSM pushing in. Team Liquid pushing away.
I think this is a risky fight for TL to take. There's such a strong point in the game for TSM, but they're looking anyway.
Several of these targets are okay. 3 are missing Quicksilver Sashes, just not the top in jungle.
They're using the Predator duration here. It has now run out. Ocean Drake leashed once again.
Once again, look at Broken Blade. They know he's down there. They saw him on the minion line. Not going to land the E. Now it's Smithy. Dropped a little bit low, slowed by the Ocean Drake shot yet again. A bit injured. TSM kiting back and forth. They can sustain this. They've got the other Ocean Drake, so their mana bars, their health bars, they go back up. Now the duel between the assassins, not going to get that one, Jensen. Mid lane now cleared by Ezreal. Vladimir going to do the same to keep that turret alive. Heal once again moving back down. Jensen going for round 2. If he finds a route, they can ult to chase Broken Blade. They're going to go in for this one, and he's going to run. Whoa, that's both ults and the flash burn, but he is out of this fight, and Team Liquid may have just earned that Drake.
Yep, they cannot take the fight anymore without Broken Blade's cooldowns. Team Liquid will start up the Dragon now. Can Acadian possibly go for the steal? He can tunnel in, he can flash out.
Good shield again. He does have flash, as you mentioned. That could be the play. The TP to rejoin. This could be huge. Jensen spotted out. Takes some damage. The burst picked up there by Smithy. Oh, it's a dodge on the one side. Vladimir goes down, though. A pickoff for Bjergsen. Jensen loses the clone. This turret might just be the safe haven they need. Look how low the health bars are, though. The ult burn. Jensen tagged. Acadian does not have the ult. Team Liquid running away, losing 1 kill, but getting the Drake.
Yeah, getting the Ocean Drake actually pretty big for Team Liquid. Big kill for TSM will allow them to push on mid turret though. So will it, in addition to being the kill, also be a turret, another objective? It looks to be so.
Yeah, they should definitely get this. The next Dragon is going to be an Infernal, which would be huge for these teams. When you're looking at TSM's squad, they don't have tanks. They have 4 members building damage, wanting that Infernal buff so much. TL will be helped a bit by the poke now. They can kind of heal that up through the Ocean Dragon, but here's this fight one more time, and we'll see how Impact actually did get picked off, as he does try to come over from behind, likely gets taunted out of that brush, and yeah, they just absolutely burst him down. No chance to get the pool off.
Meanwhile, on the bottom of your screen, Acadian went for the 1v1 with Jensen, got him down to 15% there, and then tunneled out the back. Nobody else goes down though. Both teams are able to reset. Both teams now have the Ocean Drake regeneration, but TSM still retain a large gold lead.
And they've extended it a little bit more since we checked in last. It was about that 2,000, 2.5K. They are opening that gold lead up a little bit more.
And that gold is being spent on QSSs. Sven with the Ezreal now completing one for himself, and Smoothie on the Galio, a no magic mantle in inventory.
It's only Bjergsen really opting out of this choice, still going for aggressive damage instead. If he can become a target, that's going to be a huge lead for Liquid, but he's been playing it well so far, no deaths.
And at this point for Smithy, it's less about flashing onto a carry and pulling them in, it's more about playing Peel. But they are bringing Jensen down to the bottom lane here. They're looking for Broken Blade.
And decent damage out. Impact gonna just jump into Hemo Plague as they trade spells back and forth. And no kills will come through as the Hemo Plague is now on cooldown. Of course, the same for Akali's ultimate as they regen back up with Ocean. Back sustains back up without much issue, and Jensen won't find that kill. Now looking topside, Doublelift. Not a lot of friends nearby, but that river pretty well lit up for the Team Liquid side.
And critically, does now also have the Rage Blade. That gives you the E evolve. The invisibility will be so key for these team fights. Trying to survive Rek'Sai, trying to survive the Akali. Doublelift is again one with the target on his back. Team Liquid's core member here, trying to output the damage later on in the game.
Definitely has the target on his back, but also the ability on the Kai'Sa, if you play it well enough with the ultimate, with the E-Evolve stealth, to outplay that and take over a team fight. the damage output from this champion can be absolutely enormous, but there's very little room for error against this much burst coming out of TSM.
Shield comes over CoreJJ, not yet going to be slept, waiting around the wings, finally comes through, staying alive, but losing a bit of his health bar. Team Liquid looked to get rid of wards as Bjergsen got some poke down.
And once again, when they have Zoe, first order of business, set up your control wards around these jungle walls. Look for the Sleepy Trouble bubble picks. That one doesn't land, they don't find any advantage, but they retain control of the vision, and you can continue to look for those opportunities.
In an untouched team fight, Doublelift is going to be the most threatening person on the Rift, but the question is how big are those threats? Of course, Broken Blade and Acadian have been great at hitting the back line, and Bjergsen no slouch either, as another recall is stopped.
Specifically, Acadian on this Rek'Sai has done really well to get good Galio ultimates off. Consistently finding ways over the backs of walls, finding those engages and flashing onto Team Liquid carries to get a well-placed Smoothie ultimate. It's going to be so much more difficult now, though, with Doublelift, as we keep talking about, having access to the invisibility.
Yeah, and I do think it's so important for this Rek'Sai to remain a real physical damage threat, because both your solos are these AP burst sort of type of characters, right? And if you don't have that physical damage threat on the backline from the Rek'Sai, well then all of a sudden Doublelift just has a QSS and a Maw and all these items, and he's no longer under threat.
Yeah, well, we have seen the strength of TSM in the early game. Team Liquid has not yet found their team fight. They have X-Smithy ready with the Gargoyle Stone Plate, Flash Ultimate available to try and start the fight out. CoreJJ on the Braum can divide them. Bubble.
To sleep on the one side, not gonna find that just yet though, out they walk.
This is for the Infernal, and they have impact on the top side. He's still pushing, he has teleport, but I don't think you want to just give up this Infernal for free, and that may be the call that TL is making.
It's too late now, they have to give it up. No teleport channel. Team Liquid make the call to give the Infernal, take the top turret.
They're gonna get damage on mid turret as well. The question is how well do they zone the rest of the squad, because there's a sleep on towards LeBlanc jumping back. Should stay out of range for most. This on a block for CoreJJ. Turret down to about 1/3 HP as TL can rotate and retreat to the top side and ensure that turret will drop. But on the other side of the map, Broken Blade got his own outer turret.
Yeah, and I think the call there from TL is simply, we don't want to give this up, but we can't actually fight it, right? They don't feel confident in their position right now with all these QSSs already perched up. There's 4 on the team. If Smithy can't find a good engage and Impact is behind, they'd rather wait till later in the game to try to find their in.
It's 4 plus the Banshee's Veil and Stopwatch on Bjergsen. So even if Skarner gets in and smites off the Banshee's Veil, Stopwatch can be a big denial.
Well, a lot of stats though picked up by these very large carries. 4 champions on TSM really care about their scaling, and you've got long swords and blasting wands picked up across the board there. TSM powered up with that Infernal Drake, now setting up around Baron.
That being said, this is giving Impact more time, right? He's now on the 2 items, and as well as that blasting wand. He's at level 14, so he is slowly kind of closing the gap between himself and Broken Blade, and Vladimir can be such a monster in these team fights. That damage amp, that AoE damage on top of the burst potential from a LeBlanc and the consistent damage from Doublelift on this Kai'Sa could mean a lot.
Yeah, Jensen on the LeBlanc, looking for Sven there on the outside. Didn't quite catch him out of position. But those are the types of combinations that you have to be aware of. A large chunk onto the back line opens up the opportunity. TSM will move this minion wave straight to the mid turret with no defense from Team Liquid. This thing will take significant damage.
There's the chunks coming forward pretty nicely. Out they go for this. As the turret gets lower and lower, and it's TSM able to play the siege. They've got the range, they've got the poke, and they've still got a Kali bot lane. Don't know if she threatens Vladimir that much anymore, but Impact consistently below full HP. Turret still taking shots. Team Liquid trying to defend. Bjergsen goes in, finds a bubble. It's going to be blocked up by CoreJJ. No damage coming through.
Look at Broken Blade on the bottom side.
They've got some decent damage. They're rooted up in place. Pops the Zhonya's Hourglass. And now they're re-engaged towards Impact. The knockup. A Sanguine Pool. Buys some time. Flashing away. Stays alive. Empowered heal. Now it's Jensen on the backside. Pushed away. Can they find the right one? One more shot will kill. Buys another second. But he will indeed drop him. Bjergsen takes him down.
Team Liquid try and go for the 2-person play onto Broken Blade, but they can't finish it off, and TSM punish them. Now they're split, and they have to recall here.
Liquid kill wards, but not champions.
Yeah, they go for the move, but it's so hard to actually take down this Akali with the Zhonya's, with the QSS, as well as the Shroud to buy time. Broken Blade playing it out very, very well. And it is going to be another Infernal coming up, and you know that is certainly going to be a focal point in this game. Here it is one more time as you see Jensen and Impact looking for Broken Blade.
Jensen goes in with the double distortion, lands the chain before the Shroud even. Impact tries to get his AoE off, but TSM had the inside control of mid lane pressure. That caused an early rotation from Bjergsen, from Acadian to come over, and Broken Blade plays it out so nicely on the bottom side, dodging out from the second chain, re-engaging with the ultimate up over that wall. This guy has had such an outstanding finals.
Really has, and it's now 4,000 gold before 30 minutes that puts TSM ahead. On the road for yet another title. It's already the most in North America, but more than everyone else combined is pretty absurd. And they are looking likely to close out Game 5.
Yeah, and I honestly feel like this next Infernal could decide the game. I think if you give up the second Infernal to TSM, that could give them an insurmountable advantage with all of the damage that they already have built up through that gold lead. If you could tie up this Infernal lead, though, on the side of TL, you can keep it close.
They're certainly going to try, but I think it comes down to Doublelift. He's the one who's going to put out the consistent damage. He's the one who's been able to farm. Highest CS in the game, gold-wise, highest on his team by more than 1,000.
The discussion on greatest of all time has been the hot topic over the last week. Now is when you have to step up to prove that you're worthy of that competition.
And it's time to go above and beyond, to beat the very best and prove that it's instead you who deserve all the accolades. Jensen said he had to overperform to win a title and never could quite do it. Now he's got the pieces, but he's not performing the same as his opposite member now as Spire is taken.
Critically, Impact did just complete his Void Staff, so he has Void Staff N16 for this fight. This could decide the series right here.
It could be the battle. Teleports come in 5-on-5 in this river around the Infernal Drake. No damage with True Shot. Barrage is slow towards Broken Blade. Half HP, dives into the back line, a big stun. Now towards Impact. No deaths just yet, but find the knockup in for Galio. It's one already, making a second, but double advantage is the kill. But it's already 3 for 1. TSM completely winning this fight. They find a taunt, and they might get another kill. Broken Blade will die, but it's 4-2, and Doublelift just left alone, and he is gone. An ace for TSM.
TSM will take the ace and the Infernal Dragon, and they might even move to Baron afterwards.
I think they can do it. I think they can go straight to the Baron, but they don't have Acadian, so they may not make the call, but TSM slaughters TL in this fight, and Doublelift not able to get almost anything done here. He is staying on the Dragon. If you track Doublelift through this fight, his team is dying and he's not able to actually get the damage out. He's on the bottom side of your screen here. In goes Akali onto multiple members. The huge taunt and damage coming through, and Doublelift is not really a part of the fight until it's already over.
That Galio ultimate from Smoothie completely zoning the rest of the team as well, opening up the 2 kills for TSM. Jensen goes back in to get the extra kill onto Akali as he dies, but his entire team is wiped.
5 for 2, double Infernal advantage. That was huge for TSM, and now for them, Baron has to be the next target. TL's hopes are dimming, but with a huge team fight win, they could start to pull themselves back in.
TSM so far up, almost 6,000. As they have prepped Baron, they clear the waves, and they can almost walk this one into the final, into the championship. Into Bjergsen's 6th, and the first for everyone else on his squad in North America.
And you've got to feel like with the double Infernal, the extra stats from that, it puts them above a 10,000 gold lead probably at this point in the game. So that gold lead is even bigger than it's showing you.
So much pressure here being put out. Broken Blade on the bottom side, trying to get those minions. One more hit on that turret would finish it off.
And Impact now pushed away. Another bubble comes in, not quite gonna land, but Liquid just losing more and more, their chances evaporating. As TSM winning across the board. Farm leads in most roles, kill leads absolutely.
We're closing in on the final episode of TSM's redemption arc. After last year, what a huge recovery for this team. Growing so much even just over this spring split. Standout performances from a lot of their newest members in unlikely places. Making clutch plays in the finals on the biggest stage. They need one more.
One last chance, it feels like, for Team Liquid. They've got to get a stuff, maybe at Baron. It feels like that's where it's headed. But there's so many options for TSM. They can poke, they can play splits. They can do anything they want, really.
They really can, but still, they have to keep up the pace, keep pushing. You never want to allow TL to hang around for too long, to get too many items, to get to this point where one team fight can mean the game. When you hit that 40, 45-minute mark, it doesn't matter how far behind you are.
Yeah, Hurricane not too far away for double lift. Only a few hundred gold needed as Jensen saves the cooldowns, finally W's over the wall, but is injured.
He shorted the distortion there, got a big roar from the crowd. Significant damage onto a LeBlanc, but both teams do have Ocean Drake. So he backs off into the vision control of Team Liquid. Team Liquid, the sleeping beast right now.
Yeah.
Back-to-back defending champions, not giving an extra inch.
And they do have damage. It's 3.5 item Vladimir. It is 4 item Kai'Sa. A fight that goes the right way will push people down. The question is, can they find those margins? Can they find that opening? So far, TSM has outmaneuvered.
Sven!
No quick silver sash. He is down. He is shut down.
What is he
now
doing?
Onto the Baron.
Sven walks right into him. Now it's his Team Liquid's moment. They've found their opening. Broken Blade looking to take it back, though.
And it's going to be impact tanky enough. Pops the Zoya's Hourglass and forces the ults out. So now, look at this play instead. TSM must stuff this. They must make this happen. The knockup. They're going to find Galio. Smoothie tries to get out, but he can't. It's Team Liquid getting 2 in a row. Redemption resets. They're still going. Watch out for Acadian.
Acadian looking to steal this. A game could be on his shoulders here. Will he be able to get in?
Jensen spots him, puts him at half.
That's 2K.
Look at more damage given across. Now over the wall, and he's not going to pick it up. He'll die instead. Team Liquid pick up Baron, and the game is within 2,000.
When Sven is under pressure there, he may have cost his team this series. Wanders in, gives up the kill, gives up the Baron. I cannot believe it.
New life for Team Liquid. Renewed confidence with the Baron buff. They can get back out onto the map and push into TSM territory.
Here this is one more time. The Baron low. Acadian goes in. He does early smite, I do believe, right here, down to 700 there. Smithy able to secure it. Sven knows he messed up, and now it is on his shoulders to make up for it. He needs to turn around a team fight, but TL, 35 minutes in, are marching down mid lane.
2,000 gold down after the reset. They can make up a lot of this here with turrets on the map. Elder Dragon alive. Not as powerful for Liquid right now, but a good thing to deny, a good buff to have all the same. All 5 alive on both squads. With the Baron buff itself, the stats are close.
And this is a level 18 impact. Vladimir has reached late game, certainly. Acadian looking for the flank. We'll see if they can find the right engage, because at this point of the game, it's all down to this team fight.
And the tension mounts. The poke is there for TSM. They can go up to the mid lane as Impact answers that one back, and TL walks bot.
Team Liquid do have the Baron buff, pushing on bottom side and keeping the mid lane wave there. The pressure is theirs. Minions into the turret, and TSM just waiting for this dragon to explode.
TL has to be careful though. Impact has no TP and he is separated from the team. So if they get hard engaged on, TSM could slaughter them in a fight, and they're actually looking to cut off Impact from the rest of the squad. So TL have to navigate this well.
They've got the sleep now on a Core JJ, able to jump out.
Clutch plays are everything. Game 5 of the finals. Jensen goes in. Big chunk onto the enemy jungler.
And Acadian now has to lick his wounds. His health bar is low. Smithy looks forward. Sven, he could be the target again. He could be the target again. Can they find it? They pull him in. But it's an answer back toward the Smithy. Flashed away, pops a stopwatch. Redemption buys some time as well. Broken Blade. stealth in the middle, but does he have an escape? Burns the ult, the flash to chase. The chain's not gonna land. Over goes Broken Blade. Over goes Jensen, but a stopwatch buys even more time. Now in goes Acadian. Corgan fails low. No kills just yet. No kills just yet. Over the wall they go. No one is going to die. It's 5 alive on both teams.
Are you kidding me? Team Liquid's still alive. They're starting up the Elder Dragon now. This fight continues.
The health bar's so high on TSM, though. You can see Team Liquid licking their wounds so much. TSM still sticking around.
But Acadian has to go back, perhaps. He has no flash. He's very low. He's not sure if he wants to stay, but they're TPing back in. Broken Blade rejoining the fight. Jensen is coming back from base now, too.
Round 2 of the fight that claims the series. Elder Dragon is 6,000 over the wall. Team Liquid waiting for the play. Impale is up soon. Sven pushed back over. Smite is going to be up on both sides. Impact once again heals back up. Waiting for the play. Bubble not going to land.
Almost 40 minutes in. Elder Dragon at 6,000 health. TSM trying to poke Team Liquid off of it. It releashes.
Who's it going to be? Going back and forth, finding who wants to kill it.
Double lift is in the bottom lane, pushing minions on the Kaisa. They're trying to delay.
He does have ult to rejoin if he needs to, and is walking back up right now. True shot, barrage stop. He spots Acadian with the Void Seeker. Is this the play? Into the back line, Smoothie is gone. 1-0, but Broken Blade wants to answer back. Can't get it yet. Looks at Jensen. No, it's 2-0. Answered one back by Sven. Now running away. 4v3 on the map.
Smithy is down. Acadian has no smite, though. They want to try to finish this, but Acadian's so low.
Sven is caught, and he goes down. Team Liquid win the fight. 3-1 death. Map control for Team Liquid, running to the bottom lane.
But TL can't take the dragon because they don't have a jungler, so they're going to push bot lane here, and they are going to look to get more turrets.
Double Lift does leash the Dragon. Jensen on bottom side. Recalls from both TSM members here. Acadian's heading back out, but it might be too late. Team Liquid are on the Elder Dragon, 7,000 health and counting.
They are trying to rush this one, but the smite is not even on the screen. There is no contest. The team fight was won, and Team Liquid claim the Elder Dragon and the gold lead for the first time all game.
It's not over till the Nexus explodes. Elder Dragon fight key here. They lock up Smoothie. Double Lift ults in on the Kaisa. Broken Blade tries to make the big play into the enemy back lines, but they can't finish it. Vladimir zoning so many out here. Acadian does finish off the kill onto Xmithy, taking down the jungler, but then as they move up, Sven goes forward into the double Team Liquid solo laners, and Jensen takes the kill.
Jensen has been massive for TL in these fights. It has not been about Double Lift. He was very ineffective in that fight, getting pushed out immediately. But the TL solo laners are coming up huge. Impact and Jensen.
This whole series has been back and forth on a knife's edge, and Game 5 is no different.
Death Caps also now in for both Impact and Jensen. These guys are going to be monstrously strong, and you see how close that fight was without Double Lift doing much. TSM have got to execute these fights perfectly to stand a chance 40 minutes in against this sort of 5v5.
Has Team Liquid turned the corner? Has TSM found an opening somewhere else? As we watch the Quicksilver Sashes stack up, and there are less Skarner targets. Double Lift shields gigantic with a Bloodthirster done. And they walk right on over to the Baron. He should be able to survive assassination attempts. Jensen chunked to half. Has to be respectful. The Elder Dragon timing out in about a minute. And TSM continue to push TL around.
They've got control over the mid lane wave, pushing back these Team Liquid minions.
Look at Smithy though, he's going!
Looking for the play on the backside, not a kill just yet, but this should look for Smoothie. Down to half HP, doesn't get out. Smithy at half health himself. The tank's a bit low, no kills. Redemption resets it yet again. Both teams alive, and look at that shield. Core today blocks the true shot barrage.
They're going straight for the Baron, though. They want to force TSM to fight them with this Elder Dragon. 25 seconds on it. They're on the Baron. It might be down to a smite fight here.
Burn it down fast. 11K left. TSM must move forward, and it's Impact trying to build some space. It's Jensen waiting in the wings. Can he find an open target? Actually moves a bit. Seen now by the Rex side. Chunk to half. Oh, the kill picked up on the Galio. Now the chase down. What can Broken Blade find? He's got low health bars around him, but he can't knock down Double Lift. It's Acadian now gone. It's Bjergsen trying to answer, but not able to. It's Broken Blade pushed away. It's a low health core JJ. It's a third kill as Bjergsen is gone.
Team Liquid take control of Summoner's Rift. The Baron is theirs for the taking.
And what can TSM even do but take minion waves away? Broken Blade kills off the mid lane. Sven tries to do the same, but there is no answer. It's 5 versus 2 on the map. Smite is available, and Team Liquid claim the Baron again.
Just enormous plays here out of TL. They get the kills, they get the Baron. Here it is one more time. Jensen spotted on the side by the Tremor Sense, but is able to retreat as the rest of TL come in looking for this engage.
Yeah, Smoothie walks right up to the brush. Jensen takes his life for it. Then it's a 4v5. Acadian gets focused down. The jungler's off the table, and the rest of TSM have to peel away.
And Double just cannot be threatened anymore. Broken Blade is on top of him, but he is not getting the damage out. There's so much MR. The Bloodthirster is in for Doublelift. He is far too durable to be assailed by only one member. TSM have got to play perfect to take down this carry.
A reverse sweep in the finals is what Team Liquid needed. And 2 wins in a row, 1 dominant, this one now, the 3rd. A heavy comeback, a catch on Sven. Smithy, the winningest North American jungler of all time. Looking for title number 5, made that first pick that turned it all around.
And it's the 1-3-1 TL are setting up for here. They are trying to spread TSM across the map. Baron buff in all 3 waves here. You can see they want to close this one out. They want to maximize this Baron buff.
Still 2 minutes on this one. They've already gone up 3,000 gold.
Will they be able to sync up the pressure? Cannon minions on all 3 inhibitor turrets here. Team Liquid minions doing the work.
Gold lead 6,000, bottom inhibitor cracked, middle inhibitor cracked as well. The turrets are out, there's no PvE defense left.
Championship on the line. A minute and a half left on the Baron buff. Inhibitors are under attack.
All 3 are open and Broken Blade pushed out.
Jensen is just enormous at this point of the game. No one can contest. Jensen's LeBlanc, he is hungry for his first title, but the TP's coming in. This could be TSM's final fight.
Broken Blade must carry like he did in game 1. Tries to find Doublelift. Here comes Galio as well. A knockup only onto the tank though. Acadian QSS out. Broken Blade at half HP. There's a big top, but Doublelift is safe. He's still surviving. It's 2 kills. Team Liquid, I do believe they've done it. Look at the kills going through. It's Sven sitting alone inside his base. Bjergsen's gonna fall. The rest of his team is gone. Team Liquid tie the record. It's 3 LCS titles in a row. They are the super team.
Backs against the walls. TL come back. 3 straight games. Incredible.
What a series. The Team Liquid veterans showing their poise on stage. They weather the storm. The 2-game early lead in the series. The early game for all of game 5.
And Smithy, number 2 LCS trophy leader now. That first pull onto Sven, that's what set all of this back into motion. The kill turned into 3, turned into Baron, turned into map control. That play, 3 Skarner games in a row, 3 wins in a row, finding a champ that works for him, that did what Team Liquid needed.
And Jensen on the LeBlanc. Key burst damage kills to find his first LCS championship.
And he's the first one to hoist the trophy. He showed up when it mattered most on the LeBlanc. 8-2 and 6, monstrous in the game-deciding team fights. Unstoppable in the side lane there at the end, and he deserves it.
Absolutely does. Finally, a player who had an empty trophy case for far too long. Double tweeted yesterday. Everyone, make sure you check out the subreddit Jensen's trophy case. It's going to be different tomorrow. Doublelift himself, amazing performances in the last 3 games as well. RJJ's triumphant return to North America.
MVP and a title in your first split back. Incredible series from him, an incredible season from Core JJ.
And an incredible series from both teams.
Number 6 for Double Lift. Sole possession, most titles earned in the LCS. He has won 6 out of 7 championships over the last couple of years. Complete and utter domination.
3 different teams. Every time he gets kicked, he returns to this stage. Smithy up to 5 now, tying Bjergsen.
Across 2 teams for him as well. Team Liquid got a new star to add to their jersey. What a performance, a super team they were supposed to be. And coming through in the clutch at the very end of this series to win 3 straight, including a gigantic comeback. Team Liquid once again, the best team in North America.
Got to give a tip of the hat as well to TSM, playing their hearts out. 5 games. Certainly made TL